Well, good morning, everybody out there in WLUW land. This is Michael James. I'm here with Thom Clark, and we're bringing you another edition of the Live from the Heartland show. We are broadcasting from the beautiful studios at 26 East Pearson, and we've got a nice lineup of folks. That was Sam Lay and Corky Siegel singing their first tune for us. And coming up on the show, we're going to have two filmmakers. One, I guess, is a filmmaker turned producer. That's Brian Wendorf, and he's the founder and director of the Chicago Underground Film Fest, which is going on right now. And also Laura Falsgraf, who made a movie called The 39th about the Will Guzzardi campaign. And we're going to have Tori Mohammed of the Bean Soup Times talking about black entrepreneurs in Chicago. And Lynn Orman, our own producer, is going to fill us in on what's going on with the blues and the Blues Fest. So stay tuned for the next hour. We're going to have a real good time. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael. How you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I was up late last night. I went to see Twin Peaks playing over at the Metro.
And who was it that you saw that concert with?
Well, I saw it with my wife, but I was Tori, what was his name? What did I say? I keep forgetting the guy's name. The guy who's the head of the Cubs.
Theo
Epstein. Was a real nice guy, friendly guy.
And Joe and Ryan and all those
Dempster was
names.
there, and Lackey was there, and it was a benefit for a thing called Hot Stove Cool Music, or Cool Sounds.
So I guess when you do a radio show for over 20 years, you get a chance to do these kind of concerts too.
Well, I got to go, and I did drink some wine and didn't get a lot of sleep, so bear with me, everybody. We're here on a Saturday morning.
So what did you think of number 45's efforts to launch the U.S. into its world leadership position on climate change?
Well, you know, I have to say I'm not happy about it, Tom. It's really, it is, you know, he can't get out of it till after the next election for president, so it may be him or someone else. I doubt it'll be him. I don't know what it will affect, not as much as some of his cabinet people have done to the environment already, but it certainly puts the U.S., United States of America, in a very negative light in the world community. And,
I see it as another squirrel story myself, because I don't see his announcement making a whole lot of difference. The rest of the world gets it, and they're going to continue with China taking the lead now on climate change. And knowing some Chinese health professionals who I help teach, air pollution is one of their biggest problems, and they know it, and they're trying to solve it by burning less coal and spending $350 billion, Al Franken said last night, on alternative energy technologies. So they get it, and the rest of the world gets it. In fact, I think most of America gets it. There's some coal miners who've been sold a bill of goods, and you know, I had to turn this address off twice. I was trying to listen to the guy because we're supposed to listen to the other side, right? Now we're supposed to.
Well, yeah, they put out a lot
understand.
of. New York Times has, you know, articles from the left and the right, so everyone can read each other's stuff. But
Mostly, I was
I get it by
embarrassed.
osmosis.
I was embarrassed at his mendacity, his lack of perspective. That's called lying. And
Mendacity.
Mendacity.
I like that word. Mendacity.
The
You mendacity.
The mendactic president. That'll have them running for the dictionaries right after. Kofofi? How do you pronounce it? Trevor Noah, by the way, has a great bit. If you haven't seen it, it's the very end of his show on Wednesday or Thursday night. It's a little movie trailer about the name, and it's quite a bargain. So no grand bargain on the state budget this week, huh?
Yeah, and I haven't been following what's going on down there in Springfield. I did know that actually Kelly Cassidy texted the other night that she and Dan Biss and a few other people were staying there in the Capitol watching these arrests and making sure things didn't get too far out of hand. And she actually complimented the police who were pulling people out, not because they were pulling them out, but they were apparently kind in the way they did it.
Well, not when the cameras were off, because some of the organizers who marched to Springfield over the last 2 weeks were showing off their bruises on Facebook yesterday that they received at the hands of security personnel, and pointed out people who were particularly brutal. They were taking out their stuff, and as this one organizer said, "Well, we know who's protecting the 1%." It was a harsh showing of the divisions right now between our political leaders who just can't get their job done and the rest of us who are suffering from it. And we're at an impasse that's really hard to fathom right now, except that our credit rating goes further in the toilet. someday these guys, Madigan and Ronner's defeated whom we need to put this, I think, a very, very frustrated John Cullerton, the Senate President, who thought he had a deal, responding to the governor's Q&A that he had on public radio yesterday. Very, very frustrated. He doesn't see where things are going right now. So I see it as a standoff between egos that the rest of us are suffering.
I know I probably should be a little harder on Madigan than I am, but I tend to put a lot of the blame on the governor for what that's worth.
So
now, Tom, let me ask you a question. What's going on with Network 49 and our canvas and our training that's taking place?
Well, it's been a very busy week. We participated in the Clark Street visioning process on Tuesday, and we're looking forward to having someone from that effort on the show in a few weeks. We also had a gathering to protect RP Thursday evening, which was a great turnout. And Sunday at Red Line Tap starting at 10:30, we're going to have a canvas training and then go out in the neighborhood and begin the work to prepare for the 2018, 2019 elections that are coming up. We have a new governor, we have a new mayor, we have hopefully a competitive automatic race that'll be happening in the 49th Ward. So that's tomorrow, Sunday, June 4th from 10:30 to 2. Meet at the Red Line Tap, or as I call it now, Heartland Cafe East, right around the corner from the main entrance. We are also having a housing committee meeting of Network 49 next Saturday, June 10th, at the Rogers Park Library at 2 p.m.
And for all of you people who have been following it, every year there's a wonderful event in Rogers Park called Artists of the Wall, or Artists at the Wall. I think it's of the Wall. The city paints over, space for maybe 50 to 100 murals, and people, families, groups of people do some wonderful pictures, and that's a great event, and that's in 2 weeks, and we're going to have someone on talking about that.
Tomorrow is the opening of the Glenwood Sunday Market, and also the annual Glenwood Sunday Market wine stroll beginning at 11 o'clock. The farmers market opens at 9 a.m. On Glenwood Avenue between Morris and Lunt. Always a good set of farmers and vendors, and there are things already coming in. I've had 2 salads in my backyard this week. The crops with this wet spring and the great weather we're suddenly having are really beginning to pop up already.
And while any of you are over at the corner of Glenwood and Lund, either for the farmers market or for any of these meetings we've mentioned, at the Heartland Cafe, my photographs are up right now. It's called Sweet Home Rogers Park, and they're all pictures from 1976 to the present of the 49th Ward and nearby.
It's a great exhibit. You should check it out while it's still up on the walls at the Heartland.
And I just got a little text from someone we know well, who's usually here with us, and she says, don't forget, March for Truth today at 11 o'clock. Got any details on that one? Anyone know about it? March for Truth, somewhere downtown. I guess you heard about it.
It is downtown, and it's reacting to number 45's announcement this week, which was so full of lies. And
Federal Plaza.
Thank you.